Hello, my name is Ali and welcome to my channel. We are back with Hakuoki Kyoto wins, but we are starting Nagakura's route. Now, in the last 5 routes, what I did is I went through pretty much the whole prologue starting at this point. But what I plan on doing this time, because I've already done it for 5 routes, I am just going to, if both the answer choices are blue, like these two right here, I'll just say which one I'm doing and then move forward until we get to one that is a new choice. I won't skip through the whole game. No, I won't. Don't worry. But mostly through the prologue, because we've seen the prologue 5 times. And yes, this game is very repetitive anyway. So there's going to be a lot you've seen if you've seen my whole playthrough, which God bless you, because I don't think not many people could go through that. So yeah, let's go. So the first choice we will be making with Nagakura would be attempt to explain the situation. And let's do that now. And I will pause it and come back with the next one. All right, we're on our second choice, which is to tell them why I could come to Kyoto. So this one right here. And I'll be back again. You may hear my space bar because that's my pause button, but whatever. Okay, we are here with choice 3, which will be search the compound. So what I'll do, I was thinking while I was skipping through a lot of this, is once I reach a white one that we need to click on, then I will just start reading through it. Because right now, I mean, we've already been through every single one of these, and I'm not going to read it all over again. I've already read it like at least 2 different routes. So if you really want to see it, you can go back to one of the other routes and see it from there. So we are going to search the compound, and I'll be back. All right, we're with choice 4, which is no, I can't. And I'll be back again. See you in a little bit. All right, I'm back again with choice 5, and we are going to quietly return to my room. Now, if you truly feel like it's best if I read through all of this, just put a comment down below. But like I said, in this, we still have, counting Nagakura, because we haven't done anything yet except for this, we still have 7 more routes to go. So it's a long game. So if you truly want me to read through all this, I will, but I'm going to need someone to let me know. So anyway, I'm back again. Quietly return to my room. All right, I'm back, and we are going to join them on their round. It almost seems like the full chapter 1, all the choices have been picked. That's what it feels like with me, because I only have one more choice with chapter 1, so we'll just keep it going. All right, this next one is no, I'm not. If I make it to chapter 2, well, I probably will, because it's my last choice. At chapter 2, I will start actually reading, because I don't want to skip through like the whole game. I think there's got to be choices just for him, like this one. But anyway, so we're saying no, I'm not. So let me get to chapter 2, and I'll come back and read. All right, we are here. I finally get to read. Chapter 2, which, it's not that I don't like reading, it's just I've read that part so many times. So yeah, anyway, let's just go to chapter 2. Here we go. No news of my father came forth the other day, and somber restlessness took hold of me. Originally, it seemed Hijikata granted me approval to accompany the captains on their rounds through Kyoto to search for my dad. Then he called me in. Excuse me. I saw Okita and Heisuke had been summoned along with me, and I felt a partial sense of relief. It did a little to calm my chattering nerves, and I didn't want to be in a bad spot with Hijikata. You called me? Hijikata seemed to be in a foul mood, so I decided it was best to act with tact in his presence. I was thinking about the search for Kyoto, but maybe it's best to put a halt to it for now. What? But why? We just started looking for him. Stopping now would surely cause any of our leads to run dry. His words stunned me. How could he back out on this? Hijikata remained deeply composed. We have reports of activity from the Choshu, and they do not bode well for us. It would be highly dangerous for you to be out and about. I'd heard how the warriors of the Choshu domain associate with the Imperial Nationalist Party. For some reason, they find foreigners repulsive, using brute force to prevent any foreign presence. All of their faith is aligned with the Empire. Emperor, not empire, whatever. The Shinsengumi, on the other hand, serve the shogun, meaning they are directly opposed. If the Choshu is active, it could mean that my own goal is of little concern of the Shinsengumi. I might become something of a burden to them. So, are you asking me to refrain from joining the rounds until things with the Choshu domain settle? Hijikata nodded and turned towards the two men. That being said, as of right now, she is not to accompany any rounds with any captains. Oh, I get it now. That's why you pulled us in here, right? Heisuke seemed 2 steps behind Hijikata's words, until this very moment where it seemed to click. You know, she never caused any trouble during the rounds she joined us in. I kind of feel like it shouldn't be a problem if she tagged along. Sorry, my foot's asleep, so if you hear my chair moving, I'm sorry. Yeah, even if something were to happen, as long as she doesn't get involved, it should be fine. I mean, it's not like she can run away from us if things get sticky, right? I won't run. I knew he wasn't being serious, but I couldn't stand to keep my mouth shut. I made up my mind the minute the men of the Shinsengumi agreed to help me find my father. I made a vow to never run from the Shinsengumi for as long as they helped me find my father. My desire to find my father showed no signs of slowing, even since I first arrived in Kyoto. My gosh, my chair. I will keep my vow. So please allow me to continue looking for my father. I bowed to Okita, keeping my eyes locked with his. His smirk, however, shrunk slowly as he gazed towards me, caught in between words to say. If you stay with us, you're putting yourself at risk. If you want that risk, feel free to join us. I mean, we have witness reports that fit the profile and description of Kyoto. You may have a point, but are witness reports enough justification to put her in harm's way? What if you're wrong? What if she's exposed? Do none of you understand? You're placing an unnecessary burden on yourselves. I promise I won't cause any trouble. Please. If I lose the opportunity to search for my father, then the chances of finding him will sink. I lied prostrate before him, and Hijikata simply sighed heavily. You better follow the orders of every captain you join. No ifs, ands, or buts. Am I clear? Yes, of course. Thank you so much. I didn't know how else to show my gratitude, so I bowed deeply again. I'm leaving it to your discretion over whether or not you're going to join them. That's on you. All right. I had to make sure this was the best decision. There was something in his demeanor that made me unsure of my desire to leave the compound. Still, if I was with Okita or Heisuke, I'm sure I'd be safe and well protected. On the other hand, my presence could be an undue burden to them. What was I to do? And we are going to leave and search for my father. Huh? It feels like there are more people walking around than usual. The streets of Kyoto were packed with people shuffling into the shops and businesses all over. Chizuru, mind yourself. Try not to wander off or something. Remember that you're here to keep me company on rounds. Sorry, I was distracted by all of the people. The city is filled with so much more cheer. I guess I just couldn't help myself. Okita's eyes twinkled, and he smiled voraciously, and I could sense him relax. Well, the Gaion Festival's coming up. Things are more lively than usual. I'll give you that. Of course, some of those nationalist Ronin are acting pretty suspicious too. What I'm saying is, watch yourself, all right? Okay. We walked down Kyoto's largest street, alongside the First Division. No one came within a few yards of us. They stepped away the moment their eyes caught the bright blue of the Shinsengumi's jackets. I noticed this phenomenon briefly when I first joined the Shinsengumi on their rounds, but it was clear the people of Kyoto feared them. Excuse me. I paused every so often to ask some of the less intimidated passerby if they'd seen my father. I'm looking for someone. He's in his 40s and speaks with an Edo accent. He's a doctor, and he's a friendly, bald man. After a few hours of searching, I met someone who claimed to see a man matching my description.
Oh yeah, I think I might have seen that guy a while back. Over at Masu's.
As he spoke, he pointed towards a store selling wood and charcoal. Thank you so much. Okita caught my eye and gave me a stern look. He looked as if he was going to reprimand me when...
You there! Are you Ronin? Give us the name of your lord, if indeed you even serve one.
The cry came from a Shinsengumi soldier, and Okita turned, his lips tightening into a thin line.
Well, shit. I guess they would choose the worst possible time to stir up trouble, eh?
His hand dropped to his sword as he ran toward the commotion. Townsfolk shrieked and ran like leaves before a gale. Whoa! In the sudden press of fleeing citizens, I found myself pulled away from Okita. For a moment I panicked, but realized that perhaps it was best. If I'd stayed close, he would have been forced to keep attention on me. I hoped to avoid distracting him. I hid in an alley to watch, and I could return to the First Division once the tension simmered.
Hey kid, come over here. You don't want to get yourself caught up in that.
Huh? I paused for a moment. A strange man was inviting me into his store. Not strange on the face of it, perhaps, but I was warned many times to be on my guard. I was about to politely refuse when I realized it was the store to which the man pointed earlier. Excuse me, but is this Masu's?
Yes, it is.
Great. You see, I'm looking for someone and...
Mr. Kaiman, I just saw that kid with Okita, the Shinsengumi captain.
What? My voice went really derp with that one. Oh well.
Huh? I'm not of the Shinsengumi.
Oh, Shinsengumi, run for it!
No, it's not like that. I'm just looking for someone. Even if I had been walking with them, the reaction of the store's customers seemed excessive.
You really have the worst luck, don't you? Still, I guess you could say the same about them or me.
He gave a small, unconcerned shrug and leapt through the door of the shop. Masu's exploded with the clang of blades, men swearing and scrambling across furniture. What is the meaning of this? What on earth just happened? Ah! We kneeled for some time as the colonel berated us before Okita finally spoke up.
You don't need to lose your head over it, Sanon. After all, we arrested a couple of Choshu people.
When the fight was over, we discovered a massive arms cache and confiscated the entire thing. Whoopsies. Why does it do that? No one bothered to explain to me what was happening, however, and I was utterly lost.
Not something to lose my head over? My head is right where it belongs, Okita. Perhaps you should inquire after yours. The man claiming to be Kaiman Masu was, in truth, Shuntaro Furutaka, a Choshu spy. You were aware that the Shinsengumi was allowing him to operate in hopes of gathering enemy intel?
Yes, I was, but we didn't have a choice this time. I had to bring him in.
Well, it's not like it was a total bust. Like Soji said, they did arrest some guys. Don't you feel bad for Shimada and Yamazaki? They were staking out to keep an eye on Furutaka. The corners of Heisuke's mouth twitched into a smile, but Shimada interrupted him to continue.
We appreciate your concern, Toto, but nobody needs to lose any sleep on our account. We were getting nowhere with Masu's the last few days anyway. Okita did us a favor.
Yamazaki nodded in silent agreement.
Furutaka's arrest is over and done. You won't hear any complaints from us about it.
Man, you two are the definition of stoic and reasonable. Soji, on the other hand...
It didn't seem Nagakura was going to let Okita get away without rubbing his mistake in his face. Both Kai Shimada and Susumu Yamazaki serve as Shinsengumi officers and spies under Hijikata. Aside from the captains who stay in the Yagi residence, they are some of the few people entrusted with the knowledge of my situation. In other words, these men are highly valued officers within the organization. Despite their resounding support, I felt a rush of guilt sweep over me, and I spoke up. I'm so sorry. It's all my fault. Some Ronin were causing trouble, so I tried to get out of the way. I got separated from Okita and the crowd, and I didn't go right back to him. Before I really realized what was going on, someone just started shouting at me.
But who was tasked with looking after you?
He glared at me, his eyes hard and angry, and my throat tightly clenched into dryness.
The captain of our first division can't even track a charge. Is this the best the Shinzengumi can do?
When I'd first met him, Sanan had been nice, if a little quiet. After his injury, however, it was as if he'd become an entirely different man.
I told her she could go. They were only following orders.
Sanan looked up as Hijikata walked into the room. He gave the commander a tight, wry smile, but got only a peaceful, impartial glance in return. I was going to say glare for some reason.
If you're here, that means you're done interrogating Furutaka, right? They're going to wait for a day when the wind picks up, then set Kyoto on fire and kidnap the emperor while everyone else is losing their shit. So they say, at least.
His voice was calm and measured, but we all felt the import of his words.
Burn down the city? Those Choshu guys are crazier than I thought.
So they just want to kidnap the emperor? Seems a little contradictory for a bunch of guys who call themselves imperialists.
Whatever their reasons, we cannot ignore them. They're probably meeting tonight. We need to get ready to move out. Understood, Commander.
All right, finally. I'm getting chills.
And I'm going to let you guys go here. I hope you are enjoying, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!